Have you ever wondered what it would be like to travel to the most remote and inhospitable place on Earth? In this video we explore the shocking and brutal story of the race to the South Pole. 2 teams left, but only one made it back alive. Let's find out how. The year is 1911. The age of exploration is in full swing. The world is fascinated by the discovery of new lands and peoples. The poles are the last frontiers to be conquered. The North Pole has already been claimed by several explorers, but their claims are disputed. The South Pole remains untouched and unexplored. Meet the competitors. 2 rival expeditions set out to conquer the South Pole. One is led by Roald Amundsen, a Norwegian veteran of polar expeditions. The other is led by Robert Falcon Scott, a British naval officer and explorer. Both men are determined to make history and bring glory to their nations, but they have very different approaches and strategies. Amundsen is a pragmatist. He has clear goals: to reach the pole first and return safely. He studies the methods and techniques of the Inuit people who have lived in harsh Arctic conditions for centuries. He uses dog sleds, skis, fur clothing and lightweight tents. He plans his route carefully, using depots of food and fuel along the way. He aims to reach the pole as quickly and efficiently as possible. Scott is a romantic. He has a broader vision: to reach the pole with style and dignity, and to advance scientific knowledge along the way. He believes in the spirit of adventure and the power of science. He uses motor sledges, ponies, dogs and man-hauling. He brings along a large team of scientists and support staff. He carries heavy equipment and supplies for scientific research. He hopes to reach the pole with honour and pride. The race begins. The race begins in October 1911. Amundsen leaves from his base camp at the Bay of Whales on the Ross Ice Shelf. Scott leaves from his base camp at Cape Evans on the Ross Island. They both have to cross about 800 miles of frozen wasteland to reach their goal. The distance is not the only challenge they face. They also have to deal with the extreme cold, strong winds, crevices, blizzards, altitude sickness, frostbite, hunger, thirst, exhaustion, and isolation. They also have to deal with unexpected setbacks and accidents that happen and seem to plague them constantly. Sadly, Amundsen loses one of his dogs in a crevice. Scott's motor sledges break down after a few miles. Amundsen's team suffers from snow blindness. Scott's ponies die or are shot for food. Amundsen's depot system works well, but Scott's depot system fails due to poor weather and communication. Despite all these difficulties, both teams manage to reach the polar plateau, a high elevation area near the pole. The winner is... Amundsen reaches the pole first on December 14th, 1911, after 56 days on the ice. He is overjoyed and relieved. He plants a Norwegian flag and leaves his tent with a letter for Scott. He takes some photos and measurements and then turns back. He writes in his diary, "So, we arrived and were able to plant our flag at the geographical South Pole. God be thanked." Scott arrived at the pole a month later on January 17th, 1912, after 79 days on the ice. He is heartbroken and angry. He is devastated to find Amundsen's flag and tent. He writes in his diary, "The worst has happened. All the daydreams must go. Great God, this is an awful place." He plants the British flag and leaves a letter for King George V. Takes some photos and samples and starts his return journey. He is bitter and depressed. He then continues to write, "Now for the run home and the desperate struggle. I wonder if we can do it." Time to return. Amundsen's return journey is relatively smooth and fast. He reaches his base camp on January 25th, 1912, after 99 days on the ice. He sends a telegram to announce his success to the world. He is hailed as a hero and receives many awards and honours. He writes in his diary, "Never has a man achieved a goal so diametrically opposed to his wishes. The area around the North Pole, devil take it, has fascinated me since childhood, and now here I was at the South Pole. Could anything be more crazy?" Scott's return journey is a nightmare of suffering and death. His team is weakened by hunger, cold, injuries, infections, scurvy and despair. One by one they all fall behind or die. Edgar Evans dies after a head injury and frostbite. Lawrence Oates sacrifices himself by walking out of the tent into a blizzard, saying, "I'm just going outside and maybe some time." Henry Bowes and Edward Wilson die with Scott in their tent, only 11 miles away from a depot of food and fuel. Legacy. Their bodies are discovered 8 months later by a search party. They are buried under a cairn of snow and ice. A wooden cross is erected with the words, "To strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield." Scott's diary is also found and published. It reveals his courage, dignity, and loyalty to his men and his country. It also contains his famous last words, "We took risks, we knew we took them. Things have come out against us, and therefore we have no cause for complaint, but to bow to the will of Providence, determined still to do our best to the last. Had we lived, I should have had a tale to tell of hardiness, endurance, and courage of my companions, which would have stirred the hearts of every Englishman. These rough notes on our dead bodies must tell the tale." Scott's story becomes a legend of heroism and tragedy. He is mourned and celebrated by millions. He receives many posthumous honours and memorials. The Race to the South Pole is one of the most epic and dramatic episodes in the history of exploration. It shows us the best and the worst of human nature. It also reminds us of the beauty and the danger of Antarctica, the last frontier on Earth. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, I think you'd love this video on the history of the space race to learn how a boy's dream led him to the moon. I'll see you there. Goodbye.